The name Karmelo Anthony is back in the news. And if you're like me, the first time you heard about Karmelo Anthony was because on April 2nd, he took the life of another high schooler at a track meet. Now, he was being held on a $1 million bond, but the judge said, given that Karmelo has no prior criminal history and given that this young man has not been in any sort of trouble, $1 million is not necessary. So they dropped it down to $250,000, and he is awaiting his trial at home with an ankle monitor under 24-hour supervision. Okay, so you might be thinking that he is at his home, but as this story has unraveled, they have been able to take control of the narrative, and they have tried to make it seem like Karmelo Anthony is a victim in this situation, and because of that, they have almost reached their goal of raising $500,000. And it doesn't seem like they're going to need all of this money for his bond or legal fees. And so instead, what are they doing? It is almost like Karmelo Anthony and his family have gained wealth from the horrendous thing that he has done. So this article that was posted by the Daily Mail says that they are living in a $900,000 home in a luxury gated community where rents are around $3,500. You can see this is a really beautiful house. And their reason for doing this is so that he can be safe. But what is pretty ironic is that some of the residents in this neighborhood no longer feel safe. They also have a white Suburban, a black Acura, and a third sedan parked in the driveway. One resident told Daily Mail that the family just purchased a new vehicle. This looks like it could be the house of a very successful doctor or entrepreneur, maybe a lawyer, but instead it is the house of the family of a murderer. That is how they were able to move into this house and buy these nice cars in the driveway. A story like this makes it seem like all common sense is completely lost. Thankfully, we have this person who, like this post said, the quiet part out loud, and we need to be doing that more often.
So this will all be determined by the jury. If the racial factors were reversed, if a white man had killed an unarmed black man, everybody would be on the reverse side of this. We live in a society where everything is judged by race. You know, the Bible says to judges and prosecutors, don't recognize people, just do abstract justice. We're way, way, way beyond that. If the racial elements were reversed there, virtually all the people who are calling for him to be acquitted would be calling for him to be convicted, and vice versa. Let's not kid ourselves. We live in a race-conscious society, and jury selection, which, of course, your other guest is so brilliant at and did so well in the Zimmerman case, is determine the outcome of this case, without a doubt.
There is just absolutely no reason why we should be praising Karmelo Anthony and what he did. And even if he did feel the need to stand up for himself, then he could have handled it in a completely different way and a more positive way. And we should be teaching people how to do that. I mean, the worst case scenario should have been that they got into a fist fight. But what happened should have never happened. And this should not be justified. And people who say that they are fighting for justice for Karmelo, I think don't really understand what justice means. Because it doesn't seem very just for a person to be honored and praised for doing something horrendous. The person who should be receiving justice is the family of Austin, of course. And now they are kind of strutting around with these nice suits on and making it look like they're on a set of some type of film.
All right, come on, man. Just follow behind us.
I mean, they're acting like celebrities. Oh, just to ignore the paparazzi outside. Everybody wants to hear what you have to say. Everybody is so interested in hearing your perspective. Just make sure you stay quiet and avoid all of the attention for now. What?
Just stay close, okay?
I mean, I can understand not talking to them, but it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of remorse.
Karmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say? Karmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the victim, to the family of the victim? Why were you armed, sweetheart? Karmelo, why were you armed at school?
Good questions.
Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Karmelo, you like to say?
You want to say to the community that's donated?
Yeah. What could you really say to the community that has donated? How do you explain being armed at school? How do you explain this being self-defense? Yeah, most definitely, probably the best thing that he could have done for himself is not say anything at all, because there is no good way to respond to these questions. And also, why are you blogging your time with him as if he is a hero or some type of celebrity when he is just a person who needs to recognize the gravity of his actions?
Now, guys, I'm going to be real with y'all. White people deserve some credit today. Because why in the hell is Karmelo Anthony, that 17-year-old murderer, walking around the streets of Texas a free man? How is that even possible? This is an animal who killed a 17-year-old boy over a damn book bag, and right now in the state of Texas, he is a free man. Not only is he a free man, he is a man who is a lot more wealthier today than he was when he went into the jail cell, because the social justice warriors and BLM domestic terrorists have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in his name, because apparently murder is excusable just because he looks like us.
If they really care so much about the cause, then how come they are not helping entrepreneurs or helping people go to school or helping people get loans or figure out how to make a resume and get a job? Instead, they are idolizing criminals and crimes. That doesn't seem like people who actually care about any community at all. So his family is really milking this whole situation. And I don't even understand how this is something that could be milked. It'd be like trying to milk a chicken. I don't understand where they're getting the milk from this. They don't deserve anything good from this. It doesn't really make any sense to me, but I guess they're just trying to leverage all of the attention that they're getting. So by the way, also a lot of people are confused that it is a GoFundMe. Apparently the GoFundMe was shut down, and the site that they are using is called Give, Send, Go. And they're the ones who are hosting the money that he is raising. But as if that almost $500,000 wasn't enough, they are also selling t-shirts, okay? So his family apparently put up this website. Let's read their mission, because I don't think that it's very clear. I think we were all confused as to why the heck they think that they deserve to make money from this. It says, join us in our mission to create awareness. Awareness for what? Insanity? And to stand up for justice. Again, are we living in a backwards world? Is this upside down day or backwards day or something? Karmelo Anthony, 17 years old. Okay, so they talk about him being a great student and how one day he saved a child from drowning in 2021, as if that somehow is supposed to make up for this. Okay. And they say, we are also deeply saddened by the loss of life. Really? Then why don't you give all of the money that you raised to Austin's family? That sounds like a great idea if you care so much about the loss of life. So on this website, they are selling t-shirts. And I have to say that this is the worst designed t-shirt I have ever seen. I mean, couldn't even add a drop shadow or something like that. Justice for Karmelo Anthony hashtag. You really want that to be a trending hashtag? Justice for somebody whose real justice would be spending a long time in a not so nice place or being in big trouble for the rest of your life, but instead you're out here selling shirts for $25 being like, justice for Mello. Are you kidding me? This isn't a cute hashtag. This isn't a joke. It's not a TikTok trend. This is serious, and this impacted a family. This is just wildness to me. Here's another angle of him walking out.
We're up, we're up, we're up, we're up.
Karmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say? Karmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the victims, to the family of the victims? Why were you armed, sweetheart? Karmelo, why were you armed at school?
Like, he's looking better
Explain
than
your
ever.
self-defense.
Like, I guess maybe he was prepared for the court or whatever, but I mean, just dressed really nice, surrounded by a whole team. Just a tremendous amount of funding is going to their family. In this backwards world that we are living in, this kid was able to do the worst thing possible and get a brand new car. Apparently, the license plate says that it expires June 4th. Check out this car that they got. This person shared a picture of the judge who brought down the bond. And then we have a comment that says, now show us every white judge who gave a slap on the wrist to a white felon and called it justice. Keep the same energy, we'll wait. Here we have another person sharing the story, saying that Karmelo was sitting under a tent that wasn't his team's. He refused to move, ignored coaches, and wouldn't join his own teammates. When confronted, he warned that anyone who touched him would find out. Then he blanked another student immediately. This is not a heat of the moment act. That's calculated. That's premeditated. It seems like somebody wanted to look all cool and bad, and now the world sees him like that, and they are rewarding that, praising that. And it just makes me wonder, what type of influences does our country have if we see something like this and we're like, oh yeah, that's great. Really showed him. Like, what on earth? All that I know is that if somebody basically hits a lottery, they spin the jackpot or whatever, and they make $500,000, because that's basically what happened here. It makes no sense. In no way is this deserving. No way will this be sustainable. Seriously, that house, the cars, gone in an instant, because there was nothing done that was worked up to the house or to the cars or that type of lifestyle or this type of wealth, and therefore they're not going to be able to maintain it. When people stop talking about this and people recognize the fact that he's not a hero, he's not a celebrity, he didn't do anything good, then they're not going to be able to maintain this wealthy lifestyle that they have now. They want to talk about justice, and that is something that is just naturally going to play itself out, because it always does, whether in this life or the next. Please make sure that you are subscribed. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.